I'm here to show you you can make any meal in your outdoor kitchen. So today we are making a reverse-seared tomahawk steak, a charred scallion dressing, and then we're gonna use the pizza oven to do some smashed potatoes. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to my outdoor kitchen. There's nothing more American than cooking a giant tomahawk steak in your outdoor grill. But I'm gonna show you how to elevate it by a technique called reverse sear. All that means is I'm gonna get that steak to the perfect temperature indirectly on the grill to 125, 130, and then I'm gonna sear it and get a giant crust on it in the pizza oven. I think the gold standard for most homes is trying to nail a steakhouse steak, meaning the crust, the juiciness, the whole deal. So the first thing that's important is going to be the size of this tomahawk, right? You want to make sure any steak, even if it's not a tomahawk, is at 1.5 to 2 inches thick at the very least, because that's going to make sure you get a really, really juicy steak. The next secret is seasoning. Steaks are greedy. Like, beef is a greedy protein, and I mean greedy by it wants a lot of seasoning, and if you don't season enough, it's not gonna pay you back with flavor. So I'm always using either kosher salt or some flake sea salt, and both are fantastic, by the way. And if you notice on my station, I'm not just seasoning the steak itself, I'm also seasoning the tray or the pan or the baking sheet, because I want to get in there, use that tomahawk handle and smash the meat into there, and that's gonna make sure you're gonna get a great crust, because you're not just seasoning. The salt on this steak is also gonna pull the moisture out and give you a fantastic crust. So let's move over to talk about reverse sear. I have a giant grill. So no matter what size grill you have, make sure half of it is on and half of it is off. And we're gonna place the steak on the off side. And we call that indirect cooking. Oh, hi. Hi, Pancetta. Well, I'm rendering pancetta on the on side because I'm gonna need this fat to make this amazing dressing that's gonna go onto the steak. So pancetta cast iron is gonna keep cruising. I know the grill is at about 200 to 300 degrees, and check it out. I'm putting it on the off side. I don't want any sear. I don't want any sizzle. And you're like, Jet, how am I gonna know the rate that my steak is cooking if I'm not in there and it's closed? Well, it's called a thermometer. If you're British, I call it a thermometer. But I'm gonna take the probe and I'm gonna find the center of the steak. And then I'm gonna take the middle and go, wait, where are you? There you are. Okay, I can feel it. That's gonna go indirect and I'm good. As you can see, friends, we're at 61 degrees and we're gonna close this indirect grill and we're gonna cook that to about 125. And why don't we put you right there? All right, so we're gonna take this to another level still. I'm gonna show you a sauce for this dressing. Shout out to Gerardo. I'm not taking credit. This one is his and it is bomb. It is so good. Charred green onion dressing. Yeah, I said it. How about a little oil? How about, again, there's a theme here, oil, salt, and pepper wins the day because you need to season things to taste them. How are we charring it? I could char in the grill, but I have so much gear here. I'm gonna do it in the pizza oven because we're gonna use the pizza oven later to finish the steak. We have actually placed a cast iron pan in the pizza oven, and that's preheating because I need it, A, for the scallions, and then B, to finish that crust on the steak. We're gonna take these scallions, and I'm gonna go right in. Please be careful when you do this at home. And then we're gonna start charring that. Only in a pizza oven, you're gonna be able to get that kind of heat all the way into this dome. So you're not just cooking from the bottom, you're getting direct and indirect heat, and you're creating a lot of convection. All right, you know, you're like, I need that pizza oven for my yard. This is another really great place to utilize it. So that's what I'm talking about. That's it right there. You can't duplicate that in any other piece of equipment. All right. Let's start on this dressing / vinaigrette. It's so simple. All right, we've got parsley. How about some chive? And I'm just bunching it up. You know, it's a rustic sauce, team. Don't overthink it, all right? I'm gonna start building the dressing here by lemon. If you got lemon juice, just use lemon zest. All right, And then another thing I like to use a microplane for, actually, I like garlic, but I don't want garlic so intense that Allie's like, yo, bro, you need to chill. Okay, pepper, and then olive oil. All right, I'm making a dressing sauce for the steak, but this could easily turn into a vinaigrette for a salad. So here's where the magic happens, right? You already know, delicious parsley.
Don't burn the pancetta.
Oh, shoot, that's right. Gerardo, if this is burned, he's gonna kill me. We're good. There it is right there. It's perfect, Gerardo. It's what you want. I'm gonna let that cool so the fat does its thing, all right? It's perfect. Wow, that is incredible. Imagine the smell of roasted onions and a little bit of leek and char, happiness, romance. It's all those smells all in one. It's all going in there. That goes into there, and it just keeps getting better. It's like an infomercial, right? But wait, there's more. Ladies and gentlemen, for one night only, pancetta fat. And watch, listen, shh. I'm gonna shut up. Listen to the deliciousness. Oh my God, I wanna curse. All right, now watch, see the bits of pancetta? Oh. Heck yeah, man. How about that, Sebastian? Are we looking at that? You wanna eat that, don't you? I know you wanna eat that. Holy. That's incredible. Sebastian, can I call you out on this show? You don't mind, do you? Frankie, let's get Sebastian.
Oh boy.
Yeah, here, wait. I gotta make sure you stay clean. Pancetta.
Das gut.
I have pre-boiled some fingerling potatoes. This could be gold potatoes. This could be any kind of potatoes you want, but I like fingerlings because they give you the creaminess of a gold potato, which is kind of one of my favorite potatoes to use. It's called smashed potatoes for a reason. I'll feel how much I want to smash this. And then the first one will determine, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. That's it right there. So let me finish the rest of these potatoes, and then I'll show you how to season them up and get them into the oven. Okay, so I need to cook them in a vessel. So I'm gonna take the same cast iron pan that we had the pancetta in. New fat, ghee, clarified butter. Again, seasoning pan, seasoning taters, getting those taters in there with a little bit of space so the edges can crisp up. All right, so butter, potatoes, and heat equal crispiness, and we know that, so be pretty generous. Okay, pan's ready. This is going into the pizza oven to crisp up. All right, here we go. And yes, I've got the cast iron pan in there, and that's fine. All right, let's check on these potatoes. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Remember, it's all about GBD, team. Golden, brown, and delicious. I think it's steak time. Our thermometer says 125, 130. It is time to pull this steak. Let's check it out. Oh, so remember, if you're just joining us, this is an indirect cooking. It is hot in here, so take that dry towel, pull the thermometer probe out. Let's keep that safe. And I'm just grabbing the Tommy right by the bone. It's going in, making direct contact with the steel. Look at that. I'm just gonna let that cruise for about a minute to two on each side. You know what this is gonna do? Make my neighbors really angry because they're gonna be starving. It's blowing right into the neighbors. I'm sorry, Brett and Maya. I'll share some. All right. Oh, let's check how much we've got seared. Get it while it's sizzling. Get it while it's sizzling. Yes, that's just one side. I'm going in for the other. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yes. I gotta move fast, sorry. It's drippy. Let's just take a second. Hello. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm quite excited. I like to finish the steak with a little more ghee, just for flavor purposes. I think it's time to plate up, friends. I think it deserves, it warrants an amazing platter because I want people to come graze on this board. So I want to preserve this bone and I want to grab as much meat off it as possible. So I'm gonna cut, but I'm gonna keep this bone here because we're gonna use it for presentation. And then I'm gonna slice this into manageable pieces that our friends can grab. That's what I'm talking about. All right, okay, so let's get this plated on the board here. Shh. I had to, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're gonna put the cap there and we're gonna get credit for the bone. And then I'm gonna put 1 or 2 potatoes here. And I'm thinking about this as like basically a work of art, right? So a little behind. And then finally, our charred scallion and pancetta vinaigrette. I want to get credit for this, so I'm not going to kill the steak visually. I want to see the medium rare, but I do want people to taste this, and I want it kind of everywhere, you know? And there it is, a reverse-seared tomahawk steak, charred green onion dressing, smashed potatoes, all done on the outdoor grill. All right, so this isn't only a cooking show, it's an unboxing show. I've been saving this gift for about 6 months. It is a gift from Tila for my birthday, handmade by my buddy John Evers. So if you ever want to look up, Evers Forge, he's a special forces vet who makes blades now. So let's check it out. Holy moly, Sebastian, look at the size of just the handle. Look at this thing. All right, let me pop it here. I've got my tomahawk. Here we go. I'm going for it. Allie, thank you. Holy crap, that's sharp. Make sure to leave your comments below. Like, subscribe. We'll see you guys later. If you want more information about all the appliances we use today, go to Coyote Outdoor Living. And we want to thank our great sponsor, 𝘈𝘱𝘮𝘕. If you want to learn about all of their humanely raised products, please check out the link below.